the OEMs getting involved with digital retailing, I understand that they're listening to the customer, so I think that's a good thing. But what they really need to listen to is listen to the dealers. Really need to listen to the dealers, because the
Exactly.
dealers are the ones that have to execute. Okay. And so before you can execute on anything, you have to lay out a process. You have to make sure you have the right processes. Then you have to get the right people in place.
Mm.
Then we can talk about how we're going to execute this digital retailing strategy. Then we're going to talk about how we're going to put the buttons on the website and where we're going to put those buttons. There's so much more to it. Like, even digital retailing in itself is almost a culture. Like, you can't have all these buttons on your website talking about digital retailing, buy now, act quick, do this. But
Yep.
when you come into the dealership, there's no branding around that. There's nothing. So what if you were on the website and you looked at all this great stuff, buy quick, start the process now, but you decided not to convert on the website. So
Yep.
you didn't submit your information, but you walk into the dealership and all you see is 10 grand off, 190 lease payment. But you don't see anything about buying vehicles fast, because they should still be able to transact fast,
Of course.
even in the dealership. So that's where I think that, just going back to the OEMs, it's great that let's put this thing in here, because we're seeing other people like the Teslas and stuff like that. They're having success. But if you really dig into Tesla, there's so much more into that process.
Oh, way more.
There's so much more into their infrastructure that you can't with dealerships. It just takes time, and again, so you have to really get back to the pencil and paper and dial it back down to, like, okay, what percentage of our customers actually want to do this? Look at our demographics. Look, what kind of volume are we seeing? And then let's take a look at our heat map. Let's pilot this on our website, and then let's relook at it again in 90 days. Like, how many OEMs have went out there and pushed out digital retailing to dealers, but then at least after 90 days or 6 months, went back to the dealers and sat down and talked about, what did it look like? What did it look like when it entered your CRM? What are your salespeople saying? What are your customers saying? That's the part that's missing, is because what I've seen with digital retailing with the dealers I've consulted with is we're changing a lot. Like, it's never like, ooh, we're going to hook up with this digital retailing tool and we're good to go. Like, I just had a conversation with a guy last night. He was like, man, our digital retailing tool was giving the customer a fee that was not the right fee. And he was like, we got to have a phone call, but it should constantly be evaluated and it should constantly be changed. And I think that's where the OEMs have a huge opportunity, is just maybe just to listen a little bit more. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. I know what they want to do. I'm with them. Like, if I'm buying a car, I would love to do most of it either online or do it 100%. However, they have to really look at the friction of the process and make sure we remove all that friction to make sure it's a smooth experience.